Every new day, we get a chance to set the record straight. A clean slate. The opportunity to choose greatness and to stop making excuses. Motivation is cheap. Discipline is difficult. But discipline gets results. Your mindset matters. My name is Miles Biggs, and this is Relish the Journey.
All right, going to get a little personal on this one. The topic today is how I deal with anxiety. And again, like several of these past episodes, this was a content suggestion by a listener of the podcast and also a former guest of the podcast. This came to me from Nick Mann out in the state of Washington. And Nick is the owner of Typo Prints. So plug for him here. Not an ad. He didn't ask me to do this, but he makes some badass stuff. His whole mission is to turn dreamers into doers through his motivational prints. And I've been loving the stuff he's been putting on Instagram lately. He's really stepped up his game. So check him out. It's Typo Prints, Tyypo Prints. And I think you'll find something you like over there. So Nick is asking how I deal with anxiety. And Nick, we didn't talk about this, but I'm assuming this might be because you deal with a little bit yourself. So, and frankly, a lot of people listening might be dealing with it, and you might not know it, or you might not want to admit it, or you're still, you know it, and you're struggling with coping with it. So, you know, I've hinted at this. I've said the phrase that I've struggled with anxiety, but I don't think I've ever just told the story. So I guess I will, right? Why not? I've moved through it for the most part now, so I have no problem telling it. So I was at a stage in my life, and I've alluded to this before, where I wasn't my authentic self, where I, was chasing the wrong thing, chasing the money, things like that. And really, I just wasn't happy in my professional life, right? And I felt like what I was doing in my job was going against who I was and who I wanted to do. And it had nothing to do with the company. Anybody listening to this who knows where I used to work or works at that company, this really is not a slight against the company. The people there, it's a fantastic organization. This was a me thing. But it was a me thing to the point where I was having panic attacks in the morning before I went into work. And I just really felt like I was at odds with what I was doing every single day. And that's a hard place to be. It was especially hard for me because I didn't know that they were panic attacks at the time. I didn't know what to call it. All I knew was that I was having trouble sleeping, my heart would be racing. There would be moments where I'd wake up and just like get sick in the toilet because my stomach was literally in knots and, in upheaval. And it was just really bad anxiety. But I never talked about anxiety. People in my family didn't really talk about it. I didn't have a model for it to understand what it was and then how to deal with it. So I dealt with it the only way I knew how, right? Oh, I need to calm my overactive brain. I need to try to sleep. So I turned to alcohol to really damper my anxiety. And I drank a lot. I would drink after work every night while I was cooking to kind of unwind and relax and shut off my brain and not worry about everything all the time. And that's just not good. I don't think I was an alcoholic because I've stopped drinking now, and I was able to pretty much cut it cold turkey. So I don't think I had a real problem with it or an addiction to it. But the problem was that I was using it as a crutch. And so crutches can take many forms. Mine happened to be a few beers or glasses of wine after work that allowed me to just kind of hide from the problems. But really it magnified it. I was gaining weight. I wasn't working out. It's just not good for your health. And then when your physical health isn't tip-top shape, you're not getting great sleep when you're sleeping after drinking. So you're not, refreshing your brain and your body the way you should to be able to deal with any stress and anxiety. And you just enter this spiral, right? So one day I was at the doctor and just said, you know what, I'm going to see what this is. And so I just explained what I was going through, very similar to what I just did. And the doctor said, oh, that sounds like a panic attack. That sounds like you're having some issues with anxiety. And I'm like, oh, okay. For whatever reason, having somebody put a name to it was really helpful for me. That helped me deal with it. I'm a very competitive person. I'm the kind of person where you tell me I can't do something and I say, oh yeah, watch this, hold my beer, watch this. And so that was step one for me. How I dealt with it was knowing what it was. So for anybody listening, if you are dealing with anything similar to what I just described, I would really encourage you to seek out a professional and talk about it. So from there, after I knew what it was, another way I dealt with it was medication. I started taking medication for it. And it was great for two reasons, right? Because the doctor said you shouldn't drink while you're on this medication. So that was cold turkey. I just stopped because I had to. The doctor told me I had to, so I did. So I had the double benefit of being clear of mind because I wasn't drinking. And then I got to tell you, it made me think maybe I was struggling with anxiety for longer than I thought, because the way I felt on this medicine was like a fog had lifted and I could see my life for what it was and really identify what I didn't like about it and what I wanted to change about it. And then I just said, okay, I'm not living like this anymore. I don't want to be a slave to the medication. And again, there's nothing wrong with the medication. It was very helpful for me. And if it's helpful for you, I'm not advocating for you just to stop it, right? But for me, that's been a goal is, okay, I'm taking this temporarily to help me recalibrate and get back on track. I don't want to be a slave to this for my whole life. So took the medication, and that was very helpful. I found meditation. That's been very helpful. And then I started changing my life and removing the triggers of my anxiety. I got a new job, and that's been very helpful. And I've just made a promise to myself that, I know what it is I want out of life. I know what it is that's going to be a trigger for me and what is going to bring me back down that path. And I've just made a promise to myself, to my wife, to my family that I'm not going to do that again. It's not worth it, because I want to be here. I want to be healthy. I want to be positive. I want to be able to give all of myself to everybody around me in the most positive way and bring value. And the only way I can do that is if I'm not crippled by my own mind and my own anxiety. So I've dealt with it. I've been weaning off of the medication now. I'm just about off. I'm still not drinking, though, because I've just found that I don't need it. Like, it doesn't serve me. I can have fun in social situations without it. I've been started working out again. And so off medication, that's been the big thing for me, is just really making that a priority, making sleep a priority, making hydration a priority, and making a morning workout a priority. Every morning I work out for at least 20 minutes. And it's just time to sort of actively meditate, clear my head, work up a sweat, and, channel any of that stress or negative energy out through the rigorous physical exercise. And then it's gone, and then it's out. And then meditation helps as like a mental exercise to deal with it further. So that and talking about it, right? I had a lot of shame around it for a while, right? I felt like I was broken, and, there's something wrong with me, and I wasn't quite proud to say I had to take medication for it. In fact, this is actually the first time I've been this public with it, right? So hello world, here's my anxiety story. But there's nothing wrong with it. The more I speak out about it, the more I talk to people about it, the more and more people I know in my life that have had the exact same story as me, but never told anybody. But then me talking to them about it empowers them to talk about it, and they realize they're not alone. So I think that's a way we can all deal with it, whether it's anxiety, whether it's depression, whether it's any sort of mental illness or just problems we have. Everyone, talk to somebody. Be vocal about it. The true people that are true friends in your life that love you are going to support you and not think any less of you. In fact, they're probably going to think more of you for standing up for yourself and being true to what's going on and seeking help, even if it's just a conversation around what's going on. So that's how I deal with it. If I can help anybody listening, I'm not a therapist, full disclosure, but if you just need someone to talk to, if you connected with what I just rattled off for 9 minutes on, shoot me an email, shoot me a direct message, reach out. You can find all my contact info on my social media, on the website, all that. And I'd be happy to, help you any way I can, because the world needs all of our stories so that we can all realize that we have much more in common than we do differences. And by talking about it, by helping each other, we can all deal with it better. So sorry if this was a heavy one for you guys, first thing in the week, but that was the requested piece of content from Nick Mann. Nick, I appreciate you stretching my comfort zone and requesting that. Appreciate you. Appreciate all of you listening. And if you like this episode, please just share it. That's all I ask. One favor you could do me is to share this episode. Help me spread the word and mantra of Relish the Journey. Until next time, cheers.